I've been waiting to do this one. Let's go. Hello everybody, my name is Richard Vigorelli, and this is Vigorelli Institute. Now my intro was a little bit off there. What do you do? Alright, so, it's time to throw some logic into something that is very famous. A lot of people love it. I liked it. Recently it's kind of gone to crap, but, you know, work with what you got, I suppose. Alright, I am, of course, talking about Star Wars. Oh, my stars! Too bad. It's getting logicked. Yeah. Alright. So, now this has nothing to do with Disney, okay? The Star Wars has been lacking world-building logic for quite some time, and quite frankly, it kind of annoys me, okay? I like very, very clean world-building. A plus B equals C stuff. It's the way it should be. Now, Disney, yes, took something that was shaky to begin with, took a massive crap on it, and then handed it to us after running it through the microwave for an hour. Yeah, I said it. Go ahead and at me. Okay. Well, here's why a lot of people don't like the world building because of Disney. It's because the world building was not the greatest to begin with. Okay. And it starts out with the foundational stuff, okay? But Richard, that is Legends territory, and Disney said Legends wasn't real. It's not canon. I win. Eat me. Okay. The Star Wars universe starts out with all of the various sentient species on their own homeworlds, and then figuring out space travel, you know, in various ways, and jumping in ships and going to another planet, settling. Okay, what we call the humans did this. Everybody believes they're from Coruscant. That's fairly reasonable. And by the time we get from the initial colonization and exploration of the galaxy to Luke Skywalker is something like 30,000 years. Yeah. Lots of stuff happens. That's the Legends stuff, okay? That's all found in the comic books. The Star Wars Online game covers it a lot, but only like a very specific section, okay? It's after the Mandalorian Wars. And like a few thousand years before Luke Skywalker, okay? Anyway, I believe Luke Skywalker is separated from the online game by like 3,000 or 5,000 years, okay? Let me set this down for you, okay? So, 30,000 years ago, humans were barely getting out of Africa, okay? We had colonized Asia and kind of sort of Europe. Huge swaths of Africa were still completely devoid of humans, even though we had originated there, okay? Middle East had been colonized-ish, and China, you know, was reasonably well colonized and so forth, okay? But it would be, we wouldn't see agriculture until only 6,000 years ago. Well, 6,000 BCE, okay? So about 8,000 years, okay? Years ago. Since somebody figured out, you know, if I take this rock-looking thing that I picked off of that plant-looking thing, and I put it in the ground here, and I pour water on it, when I come back in a couple of weeks, when I come back in a few more days, another plant will have grown. That plant is the same plant that I took that rock-looking thing off of. okay? Birth of agriculture, birth of farming, okay? That occurred many, many times, okay? We are only 8,000 years removed from that, okay? The language that I write in, the alphabet that I use, that I am going to write to do this, that is 2,500 years old, something like that, okay? One of the largest religions on the planet, Christianity, is, well, about a little bit over 2,000 years old. As we understand it, though, 1,500. Okay? Now, if you happen to be a not Catholic or East Orthodox Christian of any derivation, you are a Protestant, then your understanding of Christianity is only 500 years old. If you are Mormon, your understanding of Christianity is 200 years old. Okay? 2,000 years ago was the height of the Roman Empire, and steel was a thing, but not everybody had it. Okay? Now steel is rather ubiquitous. My bed frame is made out of steel, okay? Let's see, what else is made out of steel here that I have? Ah, yeah. Parts of this are made out of steel. The rest are made out of nickel, okay? My corkscrew is made out of steel, okay? Because it's very durable, okay? Now, various other things here. My desk, if you can hear that, that's steel. No, it's aluminum. Excuse me. Okay. We've only been able to work with aluminum in vast quantities for about 100 years, maybe a little bit longer. Okay. The civilization that I am sitting in right now, arguably, is only 200 years old. Okay. And look at all the stuff that we've done in 200 years. Okay. The timescales of Star Wars are so broad that I don't understand how things happen, okay? I don't know what a year is in Star Wars, okay? I don't know what this time scale is. I don't know what a month is. I don't know what a day is, okay? Because time is all over the place in it. All of the technology that they have is stagnant, okay? All the basics for everything that everybody uses, from the Mandalorian Wars as depicted in Knights 2 was kind of an RPG game that came out when I was in college, or just beforehand. Okay, fantastic. Highly recommended. That follows the events just after the Mandalorian Wars and the destruction of a planet, and I can't remember what it is, under, doggone it, Revan. Okay? And that's long time in the past to Luke Skywalker. Okay? Well, that doesn't make any sense, okay? The difference in that is the difference between me and the Trojan War, okay? Yeah. The Trojan War was fought with bronze weapons. Maybe the rich kids had iron, okay? There was no steel. It hadn't been invented yet, okay? Yes, the Trojan War did happen. We do have plenty of evidence for it. Okay, deal with it. Okay, but that's the time scale we're looking at here. Yet the technology in both stories, okay, and every single story in between is, for the most part, exactly the same. Okay, how is it? Okay, I get, you know, there's probably a ceiling as far as physics goes. But the politics of the galaxy, the way the countries are built within the galaxy, how cultures are behaving, languages, they're exactly the same, okay? And from a world building perspective, it drives me crazy. And yes, I know there are plenty of episodes online. Generation Tech did a bunch of them as to why the technology is so stagnant, and no, that's not why. It doesn't make any sense at all, okay? Unless this, okay? A year in the Star Wars universe is equivalent to a few of our months, okay? Now, if you can condense that time scale down, then, well, it's like having 1,000 pennies versus 1,000 $20 bills, okay? I still got 1,000 of each. Guess which one I want more? Okay. All right. So I'm thinking that they're using pennies and I'm using 20s, okay? If that makes sense to you as far as time scale goes, okay? Pennies a lot less, so it doesn't mean as much as a $20 bill, okay? Wonderful. I'm glad we're up to speed. Now, that's kind of what I'm thinking it could be, but I don't know because we have honestly 0 point of reference for it. We're like, oh, shut up. It's a story about space wizards intended for children. That's a cop-out, you dingus. Okay? Now, yes, a lot of people have also done a lot of work on lightsabers, okay? And a lightsaber is basically a self-contained particle accelerator that manufactures a hot plasma that is then filtered through a crystal that focuses it, okay? And it is also contained within a magnetic field to keep it, from dissipating out and basically nuking the area, okay? Kyle Hill did a video a few years back, like, what would happen if you were actually hit with a lightsaber? You would explode. Yeah. But in here, it's a clean cauterized cut. So, A, there's something about physics we don't know yet. B, pure fantasy. I'm leaning latter. Okay. But, well, it's not a documentary. You're absolutely correct, Jar Jar Abrams. Absolutely correct. Now, let's see here. What other stuff do we have going on? I did a video a while back on galactic empires, and that was actually the map of the Star Wars galaxy. I kind of ripped a new one. Okay, I've been meaning to do this since then. Okay, the Republic in all of its incarnations should not exist. Okay, there's way too many differences from one planet to another. There is no reason why any planet in the Star Wars universe should give any kind of care to Coruscant, which is the capital of the Republic, okay? I would actually expect the Republic to be, the core worlds at most, and that's it. Everything else is totally different, okay? The Sith Empire, maybe, yeah, sure, if they can control vast swaths of territory, okay, but again, why does Alien A pay his taxes, okay? What's in it for him? Well, immediate conscription into the army. Okay. Disincentivizing me. Okay? I would expect there to be, all throughout it, just like I said in the other one, each country being maybe a few planets in size, You know, there'd be alliances and so forth, you know, and they, hey, let's be buddies. Oh, I don't like you anymore type of thing. Okay, just like it happens on our planet, okay? Because culture, okay? Because language. And yes, I know everybody speaks basically the same language in the Star Wars universe, which is another thing that drives me crazy, okay? I can get on a plane today, assuming I can afford it, okay? Go to a country that is honestly not that far away. I will not be able to understand the people that are there because they speak a completely different language. The closest foreign country to where I am right now, doing math, Cuba. Okay, primarily speak Cuban Spanish. Okay, which is a very interesting dialect of Spanish. Also, I wouldn't set foot on Cuba if you paid me. Reasons. Okay, I would not do very well there, even though the country that I'm in, United States, and Cuba were settled largely the same time, okay, but they were settled by completely different nations. Cuba was settled by the Spanish, my country was settled by the English, okay, that's why I speak English, okay, even though I am Italian by DNA. Anyway, depending on what group seeded what planet first, and how long they've been there, how much power they have, and so forth, will depend on what language is spoken there. Okay, Star Wars has so much ubiquity of various species in all areas that it's comical almost, okay? With a lot of the characters, I swear they said, okay, we have this alien species. I don't want to use it. I don't want to use that one. Well, let's just pick one at random. Boom. Okay, can he talk the language they call basic? Sure, why not? It drives me nuts, okay? So, given all of that, the Galactic Empire doesn't make sense. The Galactic Republic doesn't make any sense. There's no standardization of any technology on any planet, which drives me crazy. Yeah, you know, it opens up to a lot of creativity. It really does. But you see, here's the thing. Okay, I live in a country very known for its creativity, or at least it was. I drive a Volkswagen, which is German. My mom drives a Nissan, which is Japanese. My dad drives a Dodge, which is German, mostly American. Okay, and my girlfriend drives a Toyota, which is Japanese. Okay. My brother-in-law drives a Ford, which is American. Okay. All of these are cars. Okay. Honestly, you see one car, you've seen them all. But, you know, there's a couple of little differences here and there. There's the body style, there is the interior, there's the stuff that comes equipped with it. Yeah, sure, fine. Okay. That being said, a car is a car, okay? And the shape of what we call a car is dictated by physics, okay? Because we need to get so much fuel economy out of something that is not that efficient. It's a combustion engine, okay? So unless we can find a completely different energy source to power the stupid thing, that's kind of the best we're going to get, okay? So the way humans are built so we can sit in and pilot the stupid thing is important. There's so many things that go into that design, okay? Now, if cars were designed the way the spaceships in Star Wars were designed, they'd be all over the place. There's absolutely no regularity whatsoever in them. Okay, which, okay, fine, but assuming each species is built basically the exact same way, number of digits is changeable, height, weight, various colors and orientations of organs is more or less the same, then the design should be basically the same and completely ubiquitous throughout. They're not. You know, you go to another planet and, hey, the cars look totally different. The spaceships look totally different. They function totally different. They sound totally different, even though they all have the exact same technology. And they all come from the exact same culture. Ow. My head. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Okay? It's it drives me nuts with it. Okay? One of the things that I did like about the Empire is they at least had standardization. Okay? The Republic didn't. They had the X-Wing, and they had certain craft that were dedicated to a given purpose. Yeah, if you say so. Okay, it's kind of hard to drop things in space, okay? There is gravity in space, yes, but you have to hit the gravity well. Now, if you are outside of that well, or you are able to move within that gravity well, then simply dropping something into the well will not necessarily have it land on target, and you'll miss and waste a shot. That's something else entirely. Okay. The way the battles are depicted in Star Wars, with all the variability of the various stuff, it's so annoying. It's like they looked at submarine battles from the Cold War and all the way back to the First World War, and dogfights from the Second World War and the First World War, and said, yes, that is exactly how fighting in space would be. We'll use stuff that is completely meant for in-atmosphere maneuvers, and we'll put it in space, because reasons. Okay. The logic, the absence of logic in the world building of Star Wars is so bad. Okay. Now, that does not necessarily detract from the story. Okay. I will die on this hill. Okay. The original trilogy is the best of the lot. Okay. The prequels are okay. Fine. Disney sequels are heresy. Not canon. I will die on that hill. Okay. Also, Legends continuity is valid. Come at me, bro. Okay? You have to know where you have been to know where you are and where you are going. History matters. Legends continuity is the history of the Star Wars universe. Come on. At me. I dare you. Okay? Now, the major issues come in regarding, again, time, okay? Which I'm thinking the fix for this is years in Star Wars are not years on Earth. I'm thinking years in Star Wars are months on Earth, okay? So, assuming that time scale, it's only been, you know, maybe a couple thousand years, maybe, which makes a lot more sense. Okay, I'd be much more comfortable with that, but that's me. Okay. Oh, and then there's the diseases. Now, right now on Earth, okay, I'm from the United States, okay? If I want to go to, say, Borneo, because reasons, let's say Borneo is safe to go to. It's an island, by the way, southeast of China. Rather large one. It's kind of like, well, this. Only big fat teardrop, okay? I have to first, let's assume that I can pay for the money. I can pay the money to get on the plane and go there. Okay. First, I have to sit down with the U.S. State Department and say, oh, and they'll ask me, okay, why are you going? Because it's a foreign country. Okay. We're not allied with. And there's issues there. Also say, okay, great. Now, we're going to give you some inoculation so you don't die. Because there's things there that my body has never seen. Okay? Nobody near me has ever seen. Okay? That means I could put my hand on a doorknob and get violently ill the next day because there's a bacteria there that my body's never seen. It's going, I don't know what to do with this. Have you seen it? No? Okay. Well, this is going to be doubly bad. Actually, about 10 times as bad from planet to planet. Let's say you grow up on a desert planet called Jakku. Okay? And you decide you're going to jump in this spacecraft with this dude you just met. Yeah. And you're going to fly off to this beautiful, picturesque, rainforested planet that you've never been to. The most water you have seen has been in your drinking cup, or, you know, a basin that some giant thing is licking. Okay? But, you know, we'll go ahead and go swimming. It's totally cool. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, eat the food, not wash our hands. Yeah. The place should be rife with plague upon plague upon plague. Okay? Just the way that works. Okay? And let's see, I got more on this rant. Okay. The way cultures work there, it makes no sense whatsoever. Also, the way the planets are depicted, and this is common in all space opera properties, whether it is Star Trek, Star Wars, Stargate, and so many others, is every single planet they go to has one biome. One. Yeah. Well, it's possible. No, it isn't. Okay? There's certain things that you need. Okay? There's certain things that are going to happen. It's a physics thing, you dummy. Okay? Earth has continents, not because somebody decided, let's do continents. Okay? It's because the land is variable and it moves. Okay? There's water that fills in the deep spots. That's why. Okay? If you take all of the water away from Earth, you are not going to have desert Earth with people running around looking like Bedouins. No, you're going to have nothing. You're going to have sand, you're going to have rocks, there's no life whatsoever, and by the way, the atmosphere is going to be unbelievably toxic if it even exists. Okay? The same thing would happen on Tatooine, Jakku, and all the other stupid desert planets that they have. Okay? Yes, Earth has rainforests, has quite a few rainforests. There's a certain latitude to where they're locked in. You're not probably going to see a rainforest all the way up at the North Pole if humans find the place comfortable. Okay? Because sun rays, you know, we could. There have been instances in Earth's history, Age of the Dinosaurs was one of them, where we had tropical forests at the North and South Pole. This was not necessarily common. Okay? Also, I guarantee you, if you went back to, if you got in your little blue box that says police on it, yeah, I went there, and traveled through space and time to when tropical rainforests existed at the North Pole, you'd get out in, oh, say, I don't know, what is now called Bogota, Colombia, and you wouldn't like it at all, even though you're from there. Okay? You wouldn't like it. Too hot. Okay? And by the way, there would still be deserts. Okay? There would still be areas where ice would form. Wouldn't necessarily stick around. Okay? So, one of the things that drives me nuts about Star Wars and its world building is every single planet is just one thing, and honestly, it's like a little kid saying, so I made some planets, and this one's made out of rocks, and this one's made out of trees, and this one's made out of salt, and this one's made out of jelly. You're just like, okay, that's cute, sweetie. I understand you're 5, but I need serious things now. Okay? But that's me. Okay? So, if you're watching this and you decide that you want to do some world building, okay. Channel I highly recommend that you check out is called Artifexian, which if you're a world builder and you haven't watched Artifexian, what's wrong with you? Next one I would also highly suggest is Bibluridian. He's done an Alien Biosphere series, which is just, oh, chef's kiss beautiful. I love it. Oh my god, I want to meet this guy. Seriously. Dude, if you're watching this, ring me. I'll come to Wales or wherever it is you are. I'll buy you a beer, I promise. Okay? Now, if you're going to do that, okay, use actual science, use actual math, okay? Now, if your story is going to take place in a certain area, and yes, you need forests for it to work, or you need deserts for it to work, cool, that's fine. Perfectly acceptable. Okay? Make sure the planet in the lore is actually varied. Please. Please, I'm begging you. Okay, please. Make something better, okay? Alright, so. I'm looking at my counter. I'm pushing 33 minutes right now. And, well, that's from when I hit record. Well, I'll shave off a few seconds. Anyway, enough of my ranting. I have clouds to yell at, which, by the way, it's clouding up outside. Yes, outsky. Come on. So, I'm old, so I'm going to go yell at them now, like I've been yelling at my camera. If you're new to the channel, hit that big red subscribe button and leave a like, leave a comment. If you want me to rip another property with some logic, or you want me to do another video of something, please feel free to leave that down in the comments. You can find me and my books on Amazon. Just search Richard Vigorelli. All of them will be coming up, and more will be hopefully released by the end of this year. Releasing 2 lore books, 2nd edition of my first novel. I need to make some corrections. And probably my 2nd novel will be out hopefully summer next year. We'll see. Okay. Find me on Twitter. Just search Richard Vigorelli. I'll come right up, probably. And you can go ahead and yell at me and call me various isms and ists and whatever. I don't care. I will make fun of you. Okay. With that, guys, you take care. Bye-bye.